Hello everyone, thank you for watching my YouTube video. So this is a video about social psychology. As you can see, for this topic, we are going to elaborate something called reactance. When talking about reactance, we mainly consider how reactance affect your success, the ability to persuade people. So that's why if you are interested in understanding how to increase your sales, or how to, or even how to refuse being persuaded by business people. So this is a very useful video for your life. Okay, so if you're not yet subscribed my channel, please do so. Please also like and share my video to your friends, especially those people who loves understanding social psychology. All right. So what is reactance? So from the screen, you will see this very makes sense, very natural reaction. So for example, if you see like four doors, okay, so you can see four doors. One out of the four actually with a sign saying do not open or do not enter. Okay, so in terms of human nature, so we don't know the reason why. We just want to open the door to see what happened, why this is not allowable to open or to enter. Okay, so that's why this is like a concept. Well, when your freedom or when your free will get controlled or restricted by someone without really understand the reason. Okay, so and then we will have kind of motivation or kind of force try to refuse this kind of restriction, and then to break the law or to break the regulation. I believe parents, you understand really a lot about reactance. So every time when you keep telling your kids not to do this, not to do that, okay, so and then when you are not there, so the first thing they do will be something you remind them not to do, right? So this is reactance. Okay, now I'm going to explain to you why human being we have this kind of reactance, and then once you understand, so then you know how to avoid making people feel like very injustice, and then they will go directly to do what you don't want to see, right? Okay, so in the middle of this picture, you see something called reactance. Okay, so reactance is the topic of today. And the left hand side, you see upper you see importance of freedom. Okay, so basically you have to understand, you have to believe human beings. That is very necessary. I mean, the freedom is very essential for our life. Okay, so that's why you heard a lot of people say, so they can give up everything but not freedom. Okay, so that's why the most severe punishment in the world is imprisonment. Imprisonment means you restrict people freedom. Okay, so that's why you have to accept, you have to believe human being. So we normally treat freedom always top priority, right? Very important things, right? Oh, and then lower left hand side you see magnitude of threat to freedom. Okay, so when you perceive someone or something actually threat your freedom, and then reactance will be unavoidable. But how the degree of reactance really depends on the magnitude. Magnitude means the degree, the strength of the threat of in terms of freedom. Okay, so for example, if you perceive someone is going to threat your freedom, which is very high degree, okay, so for example, completely disallow your freedom, and then the reactance will be very strong. Okay, so that's why in the opposite form. So if you want to like restrict someone else's freedom, for example, parents, you want to restrict your children's freedom, you just cannot allow them to do whatever they like to do. So that's why you have to restrict the freedom, right? At that moment, you have to let them know the reason behind. Okay, or somehow you have to allow them to try, even something is not very is not very healthy, but you have to allow them to try. For example, allow children to touch very hot surface of the stove a little bit. Okay, so not necessarily you really touch the surface, but try to make the hand closer to the hot surface. And then they say, oh, this is very hot. That's why mom, that's why dad, just allow me to touch the stove. Okay, so they understand this is someone restrict them freedom, but for their own good or with reason. So this is a lot easier for them to accept. This is not threatening to the freedom. But if you keep saying you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, without telling the reason, then the magnitude of threat to freedom will be very, very high. Okay, so if this is high, so the strength of the reactant will be a little bit big, okay, stronger, right? So if the reactant is strong, so that will affect two aspects. Okay, the first will be mental. Mental means the thought, and the behavior will be the final destination of the reactance. Mental effect means perceptual or judgmental change. Okay, so the person would think, you just allow me to do this, and then perhaps this is something interesting or something challenging. So I don't want to try. I want to try. When you say that, you tell the kids, please don't go there, it's dangerous. So they will think like an illusion. They will think it's perhaps dangerous for someone else, but not me. Okay, so this is like a thinking, I want to try. They will say, I want to try. I will be very careful. I won't get hurt. Okay, so this is like mental effect. All right. So that's why I briefly mentioned. So if you want to minimize the magnitude of threat to freedom, so you have to allow them to a small try, or explain the rationale behind them. Okay, so I have a pretty straightforward example. Everyone we know, smoking is not good for health. Okay, so I don't believe any parents in the world encourage the kid to smoke, right? But I believe almost all people, you try smoking cigarette, especially boys, right? Girls, pretty different because parents, they keep warning boys not to smoke because they have expectation boy one day will go smoke. Okay, so but for boys, we understand a lot of people keep telling us, you can't smoke, please don't go smoking. But like alcohol, and then a lot of time, right, a lot of people, we try to smoke cigarette or drink alcohol at the very beginning, very early stage of our life, even children's day. Okay, so this is a problem, right? Because we believe people threat our freedom, and then we don't make sense what is going on, and then we want to try, and then we believe we won't get hurt, we won't get effect. Okay, so this is a problem of people, not us. Okay, so this is mental effect. They keep thinking in this way. All right, so when they think in this way, of course the behavior follow. Okay, so that's why finally behavioral effect and opposition, so they will do something extreme different. Okay, opposite. Okay, so if you say please don't play fire, they will play. Okay, so or you tell your children you have to sleep earlier. Okay, and then they sleep late. Okay, they're opposition, and then somehow become pretty aggressive, because if you want to control people's behavior, and then finally you realize you can't control the behavior controllable, especially the kid getting older and older. You no longer control. You can control children, but you can't control teenagers, right? Because they get taller and somehow more stronger than you. Okay, so that's why if you feel you no longer control their behavior, you no longer control the freedom, and then you will become like physically aggressive. Okay, so how they can resist your restriction? So of course they become pretty aggressive. That's why you see aggression pretty common in school, especially high school, because teachers, parents, school principal are all those people want to control the freedom, and then the magnitude of threats to freedom getting higher and higher every year, because they know how to think, because that will be mental effect. They keep thinking this is those people is not justifiable. They just disallow us. They just want to control us. This is like thinking. Once they believe people just want to control them, not for their own good, of course they will do in the opposite way. Okay, so that's why after you understand these kind of things like reactance, for parenting, for education, of course, because when children not yet mature, you have to control, you have to restrict, you have to protect them. But every time, so I have two suggestions. First, you have to tell them the reason behind comprehensively. You have let them understand the reason, and or you can even show them on video or picture what happened when people behave in this way. Okay, and second, so it is if possible, allow them for very, very small try, even smoking. You can let them know, this is very, very disgusting smoke, or very, very hot surface of stove or anything. Okay, let them have a small try. Okay, so if you do like this, so a lot of things can be avoided. They won't perceive this is like threatening a threat to the freedom. Okay, so what about persuasion is again? So if you understand reactance theory, so if you want to persuade people, if you are a salesman or sales lady, you understand you won't be hard sell, because when you start hard selling, people feel you restrict the freedom. So even they believe your product is good, but they won't purchase, they go somewhere else. Okay, so that's why you have to allow them. You have to explain the pros and cons of the products, and then you have to allow them time to think. Okay, so you have to even you have to face the reality, some other products or some other brand name, not from your company. So you have to let them know they are okay, but of course you have to be fair. You have to explain everything, the pros cons of your product and the pros cons of other people's products. Of course, in this way, people will think, oh, they compare, and then they will make a good decision, not being persuaded in this way. Okay, all right. This is the end of this video and your understanding of reactance theory. Okay, so hope to see everyone next time. Thank you.